Welcome. Wednesday afternoon. We're getting into UFC, ESPN 8. Got a definite good card online. I'm talking about Anthony Smith versus Rakic, Alexander Rakic. Definitely going to be a good card. But before anything, you could call me MMA Locker Room. I got a few friends with me today. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, starting with the right of me. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, man? MMA Prediction Guru here, back again. Did good yesterday on the Dana White Tennis Series. So hopefully we can do good on this card as well. And yeah, man, ready to break it down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the man with all the numbers, the DFS man by himself who got all the DraftKings stuff on lock. How you doing down there?
What's up, Mills? How's it going, everybody? Coming off of a winning card. I went 2-1 in my bets, but man, that was a crazy card. Lots of surprises on there. The three biggest favorites lost, and we got another card with a lot of big favorites as well. So interested to break it down, hear what everybody else has to say, and ready to get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now we got a special co-host in here just to break down this UFC card with us. He goes by the name of Punchless MMA. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world out there.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Dale Lippin, co-host of Punchless MMA podcast, trying to be the best MMA betting podcast on the planet Earth. But we got some ground to make up, especially after last week. That card was wild. So here we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got one. Give a special shout out to everybody out there in the chat, man. Everybody, man, let's blow this up right now. The NBA is on hold right now with what's going on out in the world. Some baseball is being played. You also got some hockey on tonight. But so definitely click the share button. Let everybody know, hey, it's okay. Come on in. We're going to give you guys a great breakdown for this UFC ESPN 8 card. So, man, let's just go over last week real quick, man. Some of the fights that was on the card and some of the ways that we made money on it, because it was definitely a hard event to cap before the fights got canceled. So go ahead, Guru. How'd you do last week?
Yeah, man, I did okay. I mean, I had a bet on Semmelsberger as an underdog. I don't remember the exact line I had, and then I did bet on Mizuki Inoue, who lost, and I had a bet on Daniel Rodriguez, and then I had also a bet on that Mike Rodriguez versus Marcin Prachnio under 1.5 rounds. But yeah, that card was crazy, man. It had, the two biggest favorites on the card were lost to Agapova. I think Dobson was the biggest underdog in the history of the UFC to win. And so, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, man, crazy card. Even the comebacks are crazy. Like I bet on Daniel Rodriguez, and I was thinking that I lost my money on that one, but shit, man, he came back, got the win. Trevin Jones had a real nice comeback. So the card was pretty good, even though wasn't that many big names in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Brady, how'd you do on that event?
Yeah, I did all right. I had 3 bets. I was gonna have 4, but the Menafield fight was canceled. I think we're gonna see that next week, by the way. But I had the Agapova Dobson under 1.5 rounds. Didn't expect it to end that way, but it cashed. So, and then I had Villanueva Jordan Wright under 1.5 rounds as well. Ended really, really fast there. And then I had a parlay that was busted. Had Munoz in it. Decision I didn't really agree with. I'm assuming we're going to talk about that soon. But so went 2-1 on the night. And it was a very tough card. Happy to make it out alive. But yeah, it was a really crazy card from the start with Valiev getting upset. I thought he was going to get that finish in the first round. Jones came back and got that knockout. From start to finish, it seemed like it was an extremely crazy card.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Shayna Dobson on there pulled out that win out of nowhere. How'd you end up doing, my man? Punch list?
We did all right, man. Honestly, that Valiev Jones fight at the beginning that threw me off. I had an inside the distance play that hit, but I didn't necessarily agree with the stoppage. I thought that Jones was in big trouble first round. Really would have liked that Valiev fight. Busted a couple parlays that I had going. Wasn't really a big fan of that. Shayna Dobson, the second biggest underdog in UFC history outside of Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, but it was close. So I guess with the cost of inflation, maybe she was the biggest underdog ever. I don't know. I know we were talking off camera, but I personally had Frankie winning that fight 3 rounds to 2. But in a good fight like that, I don't really. Somebody could say Pedro, and I'm not going to argue it. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. It was definitely a crazy night, man. A lot of people, controversial main event, a lot of people had Pedro Munoz winning. Myself, I had him last leg of my parlay to cash in. Didn't cash in off that, but I did cash in on my biggest prop play. That was that round 3 starts. Frankie Edgar versus Munoz. Locked it up at a -170. Put a 1.5 units on that. Cashed in on that. Cashed in on my fight going the distance with Mizuki. But I will say this. I definitely lost with my fighter pick. I picked Mizuki, and I had Austin Hubbard. And boy, was I wrong about Mizuki, man, because Lemos came in there, and she was impressive with those strikes. I didn't know where she got those strikes from because she wasn't like that in her last fights. But so, I mean, overall, it was still a profitable night. Here we ended up 1.5 units up. This is what I did do, though. I did, me and Boston Nick, we like to sprinkle some little props right before the fight start. So I did an Insta prop on Shayna Dobson to win by TKO. I only put $2 on it, but it was plus 18, so I won like $38 off $2. You know, just one of those things to where you think if I just would have put 100 on it, right?
I know it.
Yeah. So real quick, let's talk about all those fights that happened on the card. I mean, did you guys think that fight should have been stopped early with Timur?
It could have been stopped, but I don't know. I mean, it's like you know, he took a lot of shots and he was kind of like a punching bag. But when you think about it, like with the rules, like whenever the ref would tell him like you got to move or you got to do something, he would move or he would do something. So I mean, he was listening to the ref. It wasn't like he was like incoherent. But I do think a lot of refs would have stopped it. And then the Timur stoppage, I thought maybe was a little bit early. I mean, I feel like I don't know. It was like he got knocked out and then he like let it keep going and he woke back up and he was like fine. And then he stopped it, you know, at the wrong time, in my opinion, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the comeback was cool. So it's weird. It's like that same ref didn't stop both fights with the Daniel Rodriguez one either. And both those guys came back and won. So I mean, I don't know if you would have say props to him or what you would have say, but yeah, it went good for him, you know.
And Brady, man, fix that frown down there, man. So how did it go last week for you, man? Like, let me know. Who are you mad at? What ref? What fighter? Let it out, man. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just a little salty. Going into the main event on DraftKings, all I needed was Munoz to outscore Edgar by 14 points or get the win. And I'm still a little salty about it. I thought he won, as did a lot of people. I thought the commentary was very, very biased. So I went back and I watched it without the commentary. And, man, I thought Munoz won. So it kind of sucks. Cost me like over $1,000. But, you know, there'll be more opportunities to get some money. But that was what kind of upset me the most. Also, the Agapova, it seemed like nobody was on her until after the fact. I had a lot of people message me saying, what were you thinking with that Agapova pick? Like, come on. You know, she was a huge favorite. She fought with an awful game plan, I thought. Like, she had no respect for Shayna Dobson. Came out there as hard as she could, trying to get the finish. She could have, did a little bit better, but man, I don't know. If they fought again, I'd still line her as a pretty decent favorite. Maybe not minus 1,400, but maybe like minus 500, minus 600. But that really caught me off guard there.
Man, Dale, let me ask you. I mean, the Sugar Show is put on hold. Is it the Shayna Dobson show now?
Absolutely not. It's not the Shayna Dobson show, but Shayna Dobson trains out of Team Elevation, who, in my opinion, is the best team in MMA right now. Short of the Austin Hubbard, hiccup that happened that same night. If you look at everybody that's in the Team Elevation stable, up to and including the lead horse, Neil Magny, who we're going to talk about later on tonight, they're running roughshod over the UFC right now. They can't be touched. Shayna Dobson was a live dog from the very beginning in that fight. To the point that was made earlier, Agapova came out with an awful game plan. But I do want to touch on what Guru said. Chris Tione messed up both of them fights. He messed up the Grant and Rodriguez fight. He messed up the Valiev-Jones fight because he didn't afford both fighters the same opportunity to recover. And I know we don't want to camp on that for forever. They were good stoppages when they were stoppages, but the previous events, when Rodriguez was hurt and when Jones was hurt, those could have been justified stoppages too. You got to give both fighters equal opportunities inside the octagon, and Chris Tione missed the mark on Saturday night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looks like people in our chat, man, the Odd Squad didn't do too well that night. You got some people that was able to capitalize off it as well, but, definitely looking forward to this weekend coming up. So, I mean, just real quick, I'm going to go over some of the fights that were supposed to be on the card that's not no more. This one was going to be a banger. Geoff Neal versus Neil Magny. Yair Rodriguez versus Magomed Sharapova. Bruce Leroy versus Kevin Kroon. Wait, Yeah, now that's canceled. Yeah. Okay. Ricardo Lamas versus Ryan Hall. Bruce Leroy versus Giga. Like, man, how many fights is Bruce Leroy going to get canceled before he can get an actual fight? Oh, man. So out of those fights that's being canceled, though, like, honestly, the only ones I was really interested in was the Ryan Hall and Lamos and the Geoff Neal and Magny. What about you guys?
Nah, man. I mean, I was interested in Zabit versus Yair, obviously. I mean, that fight is awesome, man. You're not interested in that fight?
Well, for me, that fight, they've been putting that on hold now forever. So to me, I think that's kind of like a Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. You know, like it's one of those things we're all waiting for. I don't really think it's going to happen. That was what kind of got Yair Rodriguez out of the UFC earlier when he turned down to fight him. So it's just kind of weird, right?
I agree. I think Yair Rodriguez is soft. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. I think he's emotional. I think that he fights too emotionally, gets too fired up in there. And when you get him into deep waters, like we saw with Frankie Edgar, when you can hurt him, when you can draw him out into a firefight outside of the Korean zombie predicament, he just doesn't have the moxie to get into a war. And a guy like Zabit can take him into those deep waters. I think when that fight does happen, if it does happen, I don't think it's going to be that competitive. I think Zabit's going to handle him pretty easily.
Man, I don't know. I disagree with that. I think Yair could maybe win, but it would be a good fight. I mean, it would be on the feet for sure. I think Yair definitely would have a big chance, especially like Kyle Bochniak was lighting up Zabit in the third round, man. I mean,
that's true. Kyle did fare very well in that fight. You're right.
I don't know. Like Yair definitely has fought way better competition level besides like Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so how many cards? So it looks like we still have 11 fights on the card?
I think 10 right now.
10.
Yeah, because they took off they took. It is it's 10. Yeah.
Okay, it's 10. Yeah, no, it's weird. It shows
this Tapology has that weird thing, dude. They go like 1, 2, and then they skip 3, and then they go to 4 for some reason. I don't know why they do that or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. So this is how we're going to do, folks. We're going to break down all the fights on the prelims. Then we're going to go back on the prelims, give you guys our best bet on the prelims, maybe some props that we think that can cash in. Then after that, we're going to move right on into the main event. So, man, let's get it started on the first fight on the card. Honestly, fireworks waiting to happen. Coming out welterweight 170. Sean Brady coming in with the record 12-0 versus Christian Aguilera fighting out of Brea, California, right down the street from where I live. With the record of 14-6. Oh, man. So with this fight overall, I'm a fan of both fighters. I know Christian Aguilera just a little bit because I've seen him fighting a lot on the regional scene here. But besides that, he made his debut against Anthony Ivy, he was a big underdog against, came in there, cashed in. You know, he has heavy hands, one strike KO power, definitely can grapple if he shoots for the takedown. It's coming on a 3-fight winning streak coming in, but he's fighting against Brady. And Brady, on the other hand, overall complete fighter, good striking, clean boxing, comes from Renzo Gracie in Philly. So he has 3 KOs, 2 subs, 7 decisions. Impressive win over a prospect, Australian wonder boy, Ismail Naudioff. I give him a fight IQ B+. How you feel about that, Guru?
Yeah, this is a good fight. I mean, Aguilera, he came in his UFC debut, and he was a underdog in that one, and I actually played him in that fight against Anthony Ivy. He got a win in like 59 seconds, which if you look at his record, I think like all of his knockouts are in the first round. I think he has 11 knockouts out of 14 wins, and like 6 of them are in the first minute. So he comes out real fast, tries to get the finish. And I mean, I've seen him in the later rounds get real tired. So I feel like, the first round is dangerous for Brady, obviously. But Brady, like you said, his boxing is pretty good footwork. And he's really good at, just using his forward pressure to get guys in the clinch on the cage and, hanging on them, just making them tired. And he's a black belt under Renzo Gracie, like you said. So, I mean, I feel like Aguilera, I've seen him get tired in the later rounds. He is a black belt, but I've seen him taken down, controlled, put in some bad positions, and he's been finished in 4 of his 6 losses. So I feel like Brady could get a submission or a TKO in the later rounds, and I think Brady should get the win here at minus 400. Could be a little wide of a line, but I think Brady, will get the win. He's undefeated, and I think he'll beat a guy with 6 losses.
Yes, sir. I mean, speaking of Brady, hey Brady, can you give the people some fight odds on both fighters, and then after that, take it away with it?
Yeah, we got Sean Brady at minus 400, and Christian Aguilera is plus 325. And yeah, I like Brady a lot in this matchup. This is a step down in competition, fighting Court McGee and then fighting Nardia, which, he's not bad. But Brady's 12-0. I like what I see from him on the feet, on the mat. I think he's pretty good. And then Aguilera, watching tape on him, I've seen plenty of fights where he was taken down by lower level fighters and controlled on the mat for long periods of time, even put in some bad positions. I don't think that's going to slide against a fighter in Brady, who I'm really high on. But I think the path to least resistance would be Brady taking down Aguilera. I think he has the wrestling to do it for sure. And I think a submission is definitely on the table. I actually like Brady to win inside the distance, and it actually is plus money right now. It's something I'm looking at. Brady, just looking at it, has only finished 42% of his fights. In the first fight, 2 fights in the UFC, like I mentioned, McKee and Nardiev, they were only finished a combined 2 times out of both of their careers. So I think there's a little bit of recency bias. Brady isn't a finisher in general, but Aguilera has been finished 4 times by knockout. So I've seen him, hurt many more times than that. So I think Brady can get him out of there, whether it's on the feet or whether it's on the mat. But like Rua mentioned, he's got to be aware of that first round where Aguilera is the most dangerous. But after that, Aguilera is probably going to slow down, and I don't think he has the cardio to really, be there in the 3rd round.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, do you think the line is right? Because I remember Brady opened up like a minus 300 favor against Court McGee, 330. Now he's like a minus 400 against Christian Aguilera. Do you give Aguilera any shot of pulling off that 1 KO power?
I mean, if it did, I think it'd probably be in the first rounds. And if anything, make me look at the first round prop. But I think the line's right. I think Brady should be this big of a favorite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How about you, Dale? How you got that fight playing out?
I think Brady nailed it here. I think one of the big keys to success is going to be, obviously that 12-0 record that Brady's carrying into the octagon. Confidence comes with that. He comes out of a great camp. He's got good cardio. He's really good everywhere and doesn't do anything particularly great, but he's got crisp boxing, good takedown defense. He can get that submission win. I think he gets it done. I think the line's right. I don't want to overthink this one, talk myself out of it. I think Brady gets it done. And I like the inside the distance play. I'll be watching that as well to see what that ends up at. And I may just go inside the distance as well on Brady just to sweeten the pot a little bit.
Yes, sir, man. I will say I'm gonna build a backpack off that, Brady. Thanks for dropping that prop out there, because that's actually a prop I like. With those odds right there. But when it's all said and done, yeah, man, I can't back the local guy. I do give him a shot though. I do think the line is a little bit off, because I do think Christian is a lot better than some of the people that Brady has fought. But definitely, I'm with Brady on this one though. And then so we're moving on along to the card. This one, I mean, we got some women on the card taking place at 115 pounds. We got Emily Whitmire coming in with the 4-3 record versus Polyana Viana with the 10-4 record. Guru, can you give us the people some odds out there if they want to bet any of these fighters? And then after that, let them know which fighter you're going to go with and how to make some money for the night.
Yeah, man. They got Emily Whitmire right now. Like, she kind of got steamed up. Now she's at minus 150. And they have Viana at plus 130. So that was even money when it opened up and for a little while. But yeah, so some money came in on Emily Whitmire. And looking at the fight, I mean, Polyana Viana, 3 losses in a row. Obviously, her last loss is a real bad loss where she got submitted by Veronica Macedo, that's her only win in the UFC, Macedo. So, I mean, obviously, Polyana Viana has been doing the best. Her striking, she has decent kicks, and she is going to have the range advantage here, like a little bit taller, the reach, but her hands are not very good. And I feel like Whitmire, she switched camps to Syndicate MMA. She's working a lot more on her striking with John Wood. I mean, I've seen her hitting mitts, things like that. She looks a little bit crisper. And
wait, Guru, when you say you've seen, because if I'm right, you work out at Syndicate MMA. She's been some time over there. Do you mean like you actually like trained with her and seen her in the gym?
Yeah, I've seen her in there, working out, and she's been, they've been really working on the striking, like the boxing. So I feel like, with this fight, we've seen Polyana Viana really, like, she got dropped by Hannah Cyphers, who's obviously a low level fighter in the UFC, as we're going to talk about later. But Whitmire, she's always, in my opinion, been pretty skilled. She's big for the division as well, but it's more of a mental thing, like where she'll come in some fights, she's flat, but we've seen her run girls over. Like, she does have the fastest finish in in UFC strawweight history against Albu, where she submitted her. And we've seen Viana accept bonnet position, lay on her back, and, just she has some submissions off her back. She is a brown belt, but, I mean, we've seen Hannah Cipher's controller on the ground. We've seen JJ Aldridge's controller. So I think if Emily gets in top position, she could definitely get the decision as well. So I think Emily will win, and I actually did better at minus 115. So the line now at minus 150, I wouldn't bet on that anymore. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dale, how do you see this fight coming out between these two beautiful women?
Admittedly, I'm a little biased here. Johnny Case has been on our show before. That whole, her, Johnny Case, they're part of it. We consider them part of that punch list MMA fam. It's hard for me to root against them in any way, shape, or form. But being objective here, I still like Whitmire in this fight. I think Polyana doesn't have that great of hands. She seems stiff whenever she moves. I'm just not a big fan of what we've seen from her inside the octagon. I know she's had a mixed bag of success, but I just think Whitmire tends to be trending in the right direction. I think this is going to be the win that she needs to keep things moving forward. She moves and operates a lot more like a fighter in the octagon than Viana does. And I completely agree with Guru. I got her at minus 115. I wouldn't touch her at minus 150 if that line moves a little bit closer. Sure, go after it. But women's MMA can be such a coin flip sometimes. And I'm afraid that this fight might fall into that category. But I got her at a good price. I went heavier on her. Slight bias to it, but I still went heavy on her. I still like Whitmire in this fight.
Yes, sir, man. I mean, me as a bettor myself and somebody who has money on her, I love to hear what you guys are telling me, man. It sounds like money to my ears right here. I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, it's a women's fight. Whitmire, I think she has the better resume. Fought Amanda Ribas, fought Jillian Robertson, trains at the better fight camp when it's all said and done. Came from the Ultimate Fighter, so she definitely has that experience in her backhand. And once Guru told me that he was personally training with her and seeing the improvements, I definitely had to pay attention to that, So that's some little inside knowledge right there that we got out of Guru right there. So, I mean, definitely, you guys, if you guys are listening out there, the play was Whitmire at even money, but right now she's at a minus 150, so you might want to maybe parlay out or see maybe if you can get her to win by decision or inside the distance if you're feeling, either type of way on there. Brady, what about like DraftKings? Like, what's their salaries at, and is any of these women playable at this fight?
Yeah, I mean, they're priced at 8,200 and 8,000, so you kind of got to play it. And this fight's like plus 105. Fight doesn't go to decision, so I think it's a good chance it does finish. Vian has finished 100% of all of her wins. Whitmire's finished 40% of her wins as well. So I think it could end inside the distance, whether it's, Viana getting a sub off of her back or Whitmire finding a sub, but it's something you do want to play, as ugly as I think the fight's going to be. Yeah, it's something you want to play on DraftKings.
All right, definitely. I'm moving right along onto the prelims. Next fight we got coming up, taking place at 185. We got Zach Cummins coming in with a 23-7 record versus Alex DeCirco with the record of 12-4. I'm gonna go ahead and let Dale, you take it off on this one. But before you do that, Brady, can you give these people some numbers out there and some odds on these two fighters?
Yeah, DeCirco is minus 115 and Cummins is minus 105.
I like it. So it's do or die for DeCirco. He absolutely has to win this fight. I think if without a win here, it's 3 losses in a row. He's looking at a pink slip. The UFC has already announced that they're going to start making roster cuts because of all the Contender Series guys coming on. And at 185 pounds, yeah, if you're anywhere from 170 to 205 and you're in the UFC, if you're on a 3-fight losing streak, your job's on the line. DeCirco absolutely has to win this fight. And I would go so far as to say Zach Cummins isn't safe either. If he comes out there and DeCirco puts it on him, puts a pace on him, starches him, gets some sort of highlight finish, Zach Cummins could be looking at walking papers too. This is do or die for both of these guys, regardless of record. I really am sort of leaning Zach Cummins in this fight just based off of what we've seen from him lately. I think there's a couple things he needs to be aware of. He has to avoid body shots. We've seen him be susceptible to the body before, and then he can't get caught with any stupid submissions. Nothing running in, going for lazy single legs and stuff like that. He's got to fight smart, and if he just does what he does well and just fight a calculated fight, he should win this no problem. I like a distance play here as well, but I'm also just leaning Zach Cummins.
So if fight goes the distance, what are some odds that we can get that at right now? Do anybody know?
Well, I was initially just looking at it just based off of finish percentage on both of these guys.
Minus
Either
210.
one, minus 210.
Yeah, to go to decision.
Yeah, I might just parlay the two together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brady, how you see this fight happening out? Who you got in here, and let us know if you can make some money on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of going the other way. I think it's going to be a really close fight, though. What it comes down to me for is, both these guys are extremely low volume. Cummings lands 2.8 significant strikes per minute compared to DiCirico lands 3.2. Another thing I noticed, like Cummings has a 66% takedown defense, and DiCirico is someone who averages about 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. So I think that DiCirico can take him down a couple times throughout the fight, maybe seal a round. I just don't see this being too much of an exciting fight. I see it being probably a split decision like most of DiCirico's fights are. I'm going to side with DiCirico, not confident in it whatsoever, but I think he's going to do just a little bit more and get it done by decision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so we got 1-1 on that one. Let's see who Guru's going to go ahead and take on this one so we can try to get to this old-fashioned face-off.
Yeah, man. I'm going to go with Zach Cummins on this one. I like Cummins. I don't know, man. This fight I really went back and forth with on because I do think both these guys are brawlers, man. They just like DiCirico likes to counterpunch, throw that big overhand right, and he has good cardio. You saw that in the third round. He was kind of wearing on Mahmoud Muradov, who's a decent prospect. But Zach Cummins, I mean, he lost to Omari Akhmedov in his last fight. He got taken down a couple of times, and we saw Omari take down Chris Weidman. So, I mean, I feel like, he's a pretty good grappler, a lot higher level grappler than Alessio DiCirico. And I've just seen, I don't know, some things I don't like from DiCirico, like when he fought Kevin Holland, and it was the third round. Holland was clearly hurt in the fight. Like he had, I don't remember what it was, but he had like an arm injury or something. And DiCirico didn't go after. He didn't try to go for the finish. And I mean, I feel like Zach Cummins has a lot higher finish probability here. Like he can submit or knock out DiCirico. Neither guy's been finished though, so that's why I feel like this is like a coin flip fight because neither guy's been finished. Mm-hmm. And also, they get in a lot of real close decisions. Like DiCirico, I think, is 3-3 in decisions, but 2 of the ones that he's won were splits. And then Cummins is always in close decisions as well. So it's like, I don't know, but I'm going to pick Zach Cummins here. I just think he's fought higher level competition, beaten better guys, and probably a little bit better wrestler. And I think he hits harder, is more durable. So I'll take Cummins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like what I'm hearing. I mean, from Alexis, he has a nice body kick. He should be the quicker fighter in here. He's 3 wins, 4 losses in the UFC, 5 KOs, 4 subs, 3 decisions, 3.2 significant strikes per minute. Like Brady, you hit it on the point, man. He has a 83% takedown defense. So that's definitely something I like. And he averages 1.9, I think, takedown averages per fight. On the other hand, his biggest win, I believe, was over Julian Marquez. That's his, biggest win, I believe, in the UFC. Cummins, southpaw fighter, going to be probably the lower volume striker, 2.47 significant strikes per minute. How do you feel about this number on his takedown defense? 62%, not as good as, 82, but, good enough to get it done. When it comes down to it, though, I think Cummins is an overall better complete fighter. He can stand, he can strike. Also, he can take you down to the mat and submit you. 6 KOs, 12 submissions, 3 subs out of his last 4 wins. That's something I love to hear right there. 3 subs out of his last 4 wins. Okay, he can get it done on that one. So myself, I took him out plus money, plus 105. So everything that you guys are telling me right now, I love to hear. But besides that, let's get to this face-off real quick. So everybody out there in the chat, man, we got an old school face-off. We got Guru going with Cummins, and we got Brady taking Alexis on this fight. So, I believe last week Brady did end up hedging out the face-off victory. So we're starting fresh this week. So, like I said, I'm going to give you guys about 15 seconds. Everybody in the chat, I need you to be interactive, based on their points and their facts. Let us know who do you think is going to win this argument based on the debate here. I'm going to go ahead and let my boy Brady DFS kick it off because he loves to give people the numbers and facts. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
I mean, it's going to be a really close fight, probably go down to a split decision. I'm just going to go with the guy with more output. Like I said, DeChirico averages 3.2 significant strikes compared to Cummings, and he also averages 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Cummings does have a 63% takedown defense. I think if it's a close round, maybe DeChirico is able to get a takedown to seal off the round, but not confident in it. It's probably going to go either way.
Yes, sir. Guru, don't take that, man. Don't let him talk to you like that, bro. Fight back, okay? Let's go. Floor is yours.
Yeah, man. I'm just going to disagree just solely because what I was saying earlier, the competition level for Cummings, I think, is much higher. We've seen DeChirico go to split decisions with guys like Gareth McClellan, Julian Marquez that are fringe UFC level. And also, I mean, the reason why Zach Cummings' takedown percentage is so low is because he's has a real good guillotine. You'll use that instead of defending the takedowns. And so I just feel like Cummings has a better chance to get the finish. And that's why I'm going to pick him to win here.
All right, the floor. All right, I see the numbers right there. Let me just tally them up. I'm gonna leave it open for about 7 seconds. You know, we want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat, and odds.com wouldn't be possible without you. Okay, so we got Guru got one for Brady. Guru won this one. Okay.
Guru's using a burner underneath his desk right now. You can't see he's voting for himself.
Gotta watch him. That's why he's the Guru. All right, so I mean the numbers is in on this one. We got about 8 votes for Guru, 2 for Brady on this one. So me as a bettor, I'm loving it, man. Got plus 105 money on Zach Cummings. Like I said, I love to target the fights to where they're even money or plus money, and if I can kind of get a heads up on them and feel I got an advantage, I'm betting that. So yeah, man, love to hear that though. Love to hear that. Moving on over to the next card. But before we do that, man, let's Brady, let's give these people some love in the chat, man. Let all the regulars give them some love. Give them some shout outs.
Yeah, what's up, guys? We got Nick in here. We got Rick, Spencer, Beer, Roland, Justin, Derek, Freddie, Leaf, Mid, Brandon, Tank, the Gaming Wolf. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. How much people we got in here?
Oh, man. What's the numbers looking like, Guru?
We got 187, so we almost got 200 people in here live. That's awesome, man. So, yeah, let's keep it rolling.
Man, let's get it going. If we could get to 200 people today, I'm trying to tell you guys, I would slap myself 4 times back and forth. Let's do it, man. Sports is a little bit stagnant right now, so you know we're not boycotting over here or doing none of that. You know, we're giving you that exclusive MMA content brought to you by odds.com. And I want to send a special shout out to the whole MMA community out there. You got Clint from Die Hard MMA. You got my boy Boston Nick, and you got Mo. Want to send a special shout out to everybody out there on the Odds Squad, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're moving on over to the card. Now, I mean, this next fight, again, we got a women's fight on the card. Me, myself, I love seeing women fight. Think about it. I mean, 2 women in the cage, you know, especially when they go for the takedown. You know what I'm getting at. You know, I used to hate it when you see them 2 men grappling all the way back in 2005 and they just lay on each other. And all right, so yes, women's MMA, folks. That's what I love, women's MMA. And now we got Mallory Martin coming in with the record of 6 wins, 3 losses versus Hannah. I fight every 3 months. Cyphers coming in with 10 wins and 6 losses. Brady, can you give the people out there some odds on both fighters? And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and let you kick it off and see if you can make some money on any of these girls.
All right, Mallory Martin minus 325 and Hannah Cyphers is plus 265. At first, actually, I thought that there was some value on Hannah Cyphers. I thought that maybe, you know, I believe it or not, might place a bet on Cyphers, but going back and watching the tape, I really can't. I mean, we all know the weakness in Hannah Cyphers' game, and that is the ground game. And she gets taken down a little bit too easy for my liking. And if Mallory Martin takes her down here, I think she's probably going to submit her. Cyphers has 6 losses. She's lost by submission 3 times. She's been knocked out twice. So she's been finished in 5 of her 6 losses, 66% takedown defense. And Martin's a pretty good wrestler. I was really surprised with what I saw with her wrestling. Of course, she didn't fight the best competition, but still, I think she wins this fight. I thought the line was off originally, but, you know, I think she should be around here. But it is women's MMA. I think she wins. She's probably my second most confident pick on the card. Maybe put her in a parlay. And also, I like maybe the inside the distance prop because, like I mentioned, Cypher's been finished in about 80% of her losses. So maybe Martin's able to get out of there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any DraftKings points that you got him in? Any lineups you think about playing?
Yeah, Martin's 8,900. I'll probably play some of that because I do think she could possibly finish, or maybe do some groundwork, some takedowns, advances, all that. Probably not going to be playing Cyphers at 7,300.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so go ahead and take it over from there, Dale. How do you see this one playing out in women's MMA?
I think that Hannah Cyphers needs to fire her agent. She's got nothing but tough fights. It's just she comes in and they feed her to a wood chipper every time. They're using her essentially to just as a platform because she comes out, and when she loses, she does so either in bloody or dramatic fashion. She's basically building highlight reels for other women that they want to try to get the push. Deron Wynn is Mallory Martin's boyfriend. You obviously know with DC gone, Deron Wynn has been getting that push for a while now, whether he's deserved it or not, but that's his girl. So they're going to continue to try to push her. If you look at Mallory Martin, it took her till the second round to get submitted by Verna Yondaroba, who we just saw completely annihilate Felice Spencer 2 weeks ago. It took her that long to get her out of there, got her out of there in the second round. She is coming off a loss all the same, but I think she's going to destroy Hannah Cyphers here, man. I know I said it before. Women's MMA can come out to a coin flip style status, but I really think that they're just giving Hannah Cyphers bad matchup after bad matchup to try to help her, basically be the stepping stool and the highlight reel to push these other female fighters that they want to get behind, that they want to try to market. Mallory Martin, she's good looking. She fights well. She wrestles well. She does everything really well. And she's got, a significant other in the UFC who is good friends with, obviously the golden boy of the UFC right now in DC. It's an inside track. They're pushing Mallory Martin. Hannah Cyphers is getting starched here. I like the inside the distance play, maybe by submission, but definitely Mallory Martin, definitely inside the distance.
Yes, sir. Guru, what's up with that line, man? Mallory Martin's minus 325 on my book. Can you let us know? Should she be minus 325 on there? And how do you see this fight playing out? Any predictions?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with what they said. I mean, we've seen Hannah Cyphers come in 3 times in a row, lose 3 times in a row by finish, and she's fighting. This is going to be her 4th fight this year, 3 fights in 3 months. So she's not like she's going to the gym and improving her skills. She's just fighting again. They're throwing her back out there again 3 weeks later. So it's like, I don't know why she wants to do that or what it is, but last fight with Agapova too, she took a lot of damage in that fight. She got dropped with a head kick. She got eventually submitted. And I mean, Mallory Martin, like they said, and the thing that I do think is Hannah Cyphers, like she does have good takedown defense in the clinch. Like she's strong there, but she has terrible takedown defense when you shoot in on her legs. Like she doesn't know how to defend a double. She's real bad with the single leg defense. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just she's like has real choppy footwork and she overextends on a lot of her punches, so it's easy to just kind of duck under and take her down. And her guard is like easily passable. And when you get to a dominant position like Angela Hill, we know she's not really a great person on the ground. She was able to mount Hannah Cyphers, finish her with ground and pound. And I think Martin is her striking. I don't know. I mean, it looks like she has decent boxing, but not really that much power. And but she does have good takedowns and a good top game. So I just see her passing the guard because she is a good passer and probably getting the finish. I think she has 3 out of her 6 finishes, or 3 out of her 6 wins or finishes on the ground. So I think she'll probably get the finish. And yeah, plus 230 for her inside the distance is a pretty good prop in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let me try. I did it last time with Shayna Dobson. It worked then. I mean, we're talking about Hannah Cyphers here. 10 wins, 6 losses. I mean, with fights with Mackenzie Dern, a win over Jody Escobar at UFC 241, which I was at the event at. I mean, is the disrespect? Yeah, folks, I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it. I give her a heart, for fighting. But when it's all said and done, yeah, you hit it on the point, Dale. It seems like they're just feeding her to the wolves. She definitely needs to fire her agent, or ask her agent, why do you hate me so much? I will say this, though. With Mallory Martin, I did see when she fights strikers, even though Hannah Cyphers isn't a superior striker, she does leave her chin out there to be hit. And Hannah Cyphers, can come back with a good counter every now and then. But, yeah, folks, I wouldn't bet this fight. I wouldn't parlay this fight. I would maybe look for a prop to maybe cash in on, and that's about it on that fight, man. So what's next on the card? Are we still on the prelims right here, Guru, or did we move on to the main card yet?
It's the last prelim. It's Maki versus Impa Kasagane.
Now here we go, folks. Now this is a fight right here. I've been waiting to see. Well, since last week or the week before that it was supposed to take place and it got canceled, But I mean, taking place at 185 middleweight, Maki Pitolo coming in with 13 wins, 6 losses versus Impa Kasagny, 7-0. You just seen him recently off the Contender Series. Start off with Maki, 7 KOs, 3 subs, 3 decisions. Impressive win on the Contender Series. But since then, what have you done for me lately? I'm trying to figure out what is his real weight class. Is he at 170? Is he a 185er? How he looked against Callan Potter? There's no way I'll be able to ever forget a day like that. So with Maki, though, explosive striker, we all know that. He leaves his chin out there after he punches. Nice body shots. Targets that body with body hooks that I love to see. Reminds me of a boxer like Joe Frazier. Not the best cardio, though. Impa, on the other hand, I mean, 2 subs, 5 decisions, 2 times on the Contender Series now. He likes to walk down his opponent, as it looks like coming out of a good fight camp that's definitely on the rise right now. I know Guru knows all about it. That's Camp Jim O with people over there with like John Salter, Scott Holtzman, Brian Barberena, and Joe Selecki, who just came off of an impressive win.
Jamie Pickett from yesterday is from there too, from Contender Series.
Oh, Pickett in the main event, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Let's made money on that event too, man. Straight cash on that Pickett. So yeah, right now, I mean, that camp right now is firing on all cylinders right now, up and coming. I like his fight IQ that I've seen so far. It looks like when he's striking and he knows he's getting tired, he will shoot for the takedown, and it's not too televised. Myself, I want to see how you guys kick this fight off because I got a little bit of interest in it, but I'm going to let the transfer student who just joined the New School MMA today, I'm going to let him take it over. And Dale, you can go ahead and kick this one off and let him know how you see this fight playing out.
I'm honestly, every time I look at this fight, I'm sort of waffling back and forth on it. Admittedly, I think this has the potential to either make or break my prelim plays. We initially went with Maki Pitolo in his fight against Darren Stewart. I think that, that Darren Stewart by submission was a shock to everybody. I think even including Darren Stewart, he just took the sub because it was there. Maki just essentially shot a really sloppy takedown. I think that he's going to learn his lesson, and I'm hoping that he does here. I think he's going to be a little bit more calculated. He's got about a round and a half to get it done, though. If he can't get it done in that first round, live betting wise, exponentially, his chances of winning are going to go down. But I love Maki Pitolo in this fight. And I'm going to take him, I'm taking him outright, and then I'm probably looking at under 1.5 as well.
Hold on, people. We just hit the 200 mark. So, we just hit the 200 mark today, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Hitting the 200 mark on a Wednesday like this, definitely appreciate all you guys, man. You probably just do it to see me get slapped. But, yeah, so you're definitely on coconut bombs on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take coconut bombs basically just on nickname alone and the fact that I think he's got better power than Impa does. And if he can connect, if he can learn from his mistakes and do, just come in and just fight smart for once. That Darren Stewart fight was piss poor as far as execution goes. I think he can get it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brady, how you see this fight playing out? And you doing anything with DraftKings?
Yeah, this is a very tough fight to call. I mean, watching tape on Impa, I wasn't overly impressed, but I did like a lot of things I saw. I thought he was very tough. He had some very good wrestling. And I don't know, I think Pitolo is getting a little disrespected. I don't really think he should be the underdog. I mean, he has a lot more experience. Impa just started fighting like 3 years ago. And he does have a loss on his amateur career 2 years ago. So he's still very green. I've seen some mistakes on the mat on the Contender Series fight, and I don't think that'll be able to slide against Pitolo. But as for the matchup, I think I favor it for Kasagna here. I like him to win. It's just Pitolo, he can be taken down. I think Impa can really, grind on him. And if he can get out of that first round, I think it's his fight to lose. I don't really like the cardio of Maki Pitolo. And just huge red flags, like getting submitted by Darren Stewart. That was Darren Stewart's first submission win. And of course, how could we forget the Callan Potter fight? So I'm going to lean Impa, but this is my least confident pick on the card. I don't really think he should be the favorite. If he was an underdog, I might take a look at it, but it should be a very, very close fight. Impa has like one finish out of his 7 fights, something like that. So he's not really a finisher.
Not at all.
The more dangerous fighter. So I think if there is a finish, it's going to be Pitolo, but I just see Impa probably grinding out those last 2 rounds. But it's a fight I do want to stay away from a betting perspective.
Yes, sir. Yes, I want to give a special shout out to that comment right there from CK. Hit it on head. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll start fighting smart now. Like, when is that gonna happen? Like round 2, the coach gonna so I doubt it, man. I kind of doubt it. Coconut bombs probably for a reason. But go ahead, Guru. How you see this fight playing out? Because I know you do your own predictions on YouTube, and I know you already put your video out. So, how'd your prediction play out?
Yeah, this is an interesting fight, like they said. I mean, obviously, both these guys are coming right back. Like I think, like 3 weeks or less than a month they fought. So, I mean, I don't think either of them really took that much damage. But obviously, one lost, one won. But like looking at the fight, I do think Impa is going to be way bigger than Darren Stewart, than Maki. Man, Maki fought at 170 almost his whole career.
I'm with you on that one. Way
Darren
bigger.
Stewart was huge in the cage compared to Pitolo, and you saw in the fight he was walking him down the whole time, and Maki was just backing up, throwing these super wild bombs, and I mean he connected a couple times, but I didn't really like that performance in that fight at all. And then eventually he shot a sloppy takedown, got guillotined, and in the fight when he fought Charles Byrd, that was a good performance, but even in the first round against Charles Byrd, he was getting taken down, controlled on the ground. And Charles Byrd retired after that fight. He was coming back from like a 2-year USADA suspension. He was like 37, 38 years old. So, I mean, Maki got a win there, but I don't really rate that win that highly. And I feel like Impa, he's young in his career, but you could tell that like he's fighting a guy that has horrible fight IQ, and his fight IQ is super high. Like he has real good forward pressure. He has pretty good defense on the feet. He doesn't really open up to get hit very much. He counter strikes. So I don't think he's going to just like let Maki like unload on him or stand against the cage and let Maki throw those 10-punch combinations that he likes to do, because a lot of those guys don't throw back at him, when he's throwing those big, long combinations. I think Impa is going to be going forward, and I think when he gets him against the cage and on the ground, I think he's just going to be too big, start to zap that energy of Maki and control him on the ground against the cage and probably win a decision again. So, yeah, I got Impa here.
There we go, man. I like what I hear, man. We got another face-off right here, man. Dun, 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 dun. We got some new opponents in this one, though. So everybody in the chat, man, we got 195 people out there. Please hit that like and subscribe button. But beyond that, we got a face-off right now. We got Dale. He's putting his money on Maki Pitolo, coconut bombs. And we got your boy, MMA Guru. He's saying, I'm liking Impa. I like the camp he's training with, what he's been doing, and I'm actually a little bit impressed with him. So I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 20 seconds, 15 seconds to face it off, and I'm going to let the people in the chat decide who wins. I'm going to go ahead and let Punchless MMA kick it off. Go ahead.
Well, I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing recency bias in the line. Maki did lose that fight. He absolutely did. I can't take anything away from that. But I think despite the fact that, whether he's 170 or 185, I think he's going to carry power. I think he's going to be there to hit Impa. He's got the experience to do so. Not to mention, and this is the biggest factor in this, he's a Hawaiian. And Hawaiian dudes come to scrap. You have got to finish him, like we saw with Darren Stewart. You're going to have to finish him to get him out of there to win that fight. And Impa, like DFS said, does not have the finishing capabilities to get it done. I still like Maki. I still think he gets it done because we've seen it. He's grown up. He's an island fighter. He's coming with them coconut bombs on Saturday.
Oh, man, let's go, man. You was out of bounds with that. He took the whole 21 seconds with that, man. So, man, Guru, come on, man. Don't let him do you like that. Fight back, man. Let's go. Why is Impa gonna win, man? Give him the facts, though.
He's talking about Maki being Hawaiian, but Impa is a Nigerian, man. All those Nigerians in the UFC have extreme.
I like that. That's 2 points right there. You get 2 points for that one.
Finished like Usman, Sadiq Yusuf. So, man, I mean, it's I feel like also Impa is just going to be the one going forward, man. I think that Maki just like he backs up too much. So I think when he gets tired, and Impa is bigger and has better cardio. So I feel like, I think he would win a decision. I think Maki has to knock him out, and if he doesn't, then he's going to lose. So.
Yes, sir. Let's let everybody in the chat go ahead. Let them Twitter fingers out, man. Who won that round based on the facts, man? You got Guru or you got Dale Punchless MMA?
Hands up, Guru. Man. Get off them burner accounts, bro.
Let's be active. Let's go. Let's see. I'm going to let it flow for about 7 seconds in there. In the meantime, hey, Brady, DFS, when you're not on Odd Squad, man, where can they catch you at? Man, like, do you have an Instagram? Do you got a Twitter? Do you got a, YouTube?
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at DFS.
I'm counting them up. Go ahead.
I'm going to be posting my breakdown tomorrow morning. You guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS by the numbers, and on Instagram, DFS by the numbers.
What about you down there, Dale Punchless MMA? Where can they catch you at?
Yeah, on Instagram, you can find us at Punchlist MMA, and then we're on every podcast platform on the planet Earth. Just search Punchlist MMA. You can find us. And then for every UFC pay-per-view, we'll do a YouTube show as well. And then we also do fighter interviews, so be sure to check those out. So we try to get it in where we can. What
about you, MMA Prediction Guru? Go ahead, give them some of your platforms.
Yeah, man, you can just find it if you type in MMA Prediction Guru on YouTube. The channel will pop up. I do predictions every Monday or Tuesday. I do Contender Series predictions, so check those out for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, the numbers are up. Okay, we got a few going for Dale on that, but we got definitely Guru taking this one home. So I'm loving it. Because I got money on Impa, played him at a -125. I like a little bit of what I've seen off him so far off the Contender Series and Coconut Bombs. It's when he was in there with Darren Stewart at 185, he looked it so small. He looked it like shrunken, to where I was like, okay, you could definitely see the size disparity. So yeah, definitely, I'm loving what I'm hearing on that. Let's keep these numbers going, folks. 205 people in here on a Wednesday. Let's go, man. Great numbers right here. Let everybody know we're breaking it down for you guys. The UFC ESPN 8 card taking place this Saturday at the Apex Arena. All right, man. So that was all the prelims right there. Hey, Guru, can you go over some of the prelim fights on there? Maybe some of the plays that we do got on there to let everybody know our best bet on the prelims. And then I'm gonna kick it to Guru, Brady and let him give his best bet.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the play that I did have already is the Emily Whitmire play, and I do feel like Sean Brady inside the distance, Mallory Martin inside the distance, and maybe even Impa as well. But I'm not sure 100% if I'm gonna play that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brady, what's the best fight on the prelim right there? How can the people get that $1,000 back that Munoz lost you last week?
I like Brady inside the distance. I got it at +150. Other than that, looking at Mallory Martin inside the distance as well. But besides that, that's about it for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And go ahead, Dale. Let them know about you think what's your best bet on this whole prelim card. That's not a lock because, nothing's a locked on here. Maybe it got the best value on there or something that you definitely plan.
Mallory Martin inside the distance. That's just I'm stacking up on it. That's where I'm going huge.
Whew. Okay. Yeah, for me, MMA Locker Room, I usually have my Bet Your Lunch Money segments that I try to put out on Friday or Saturday morning. But me, I had to go with this is just my best underdog value that I got on there. I took Zach Cummins at a +105. So, yeah, I put a half unit on it. Feeling pretty confident in it because, I can get plus money on him, which in a fight that I think that he can win in two different ways. So, that's my best bet on the prelim right there. Don't do nothing too stupid and chase money and put money on Sean Brady in a parlay because, man, Christian got some hands that can surprise you. That pretty much wraps up the prelim right there, folks. So moving on to the main card, we got a fight card on the main card, but not a 5-round main event. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
Okay. So, Brady, go ahead and introduce the first fight on the card and then give us some odds on it and then let us know some ways to make money.
Yeah, I believe the first fight is Magomed Ankalaev versus Ion Kudalova. And Ankalaev is -335. Kudalova is +275. We already saw this fight, how it played out. Very controversial. Ankalaev landed a nice, I think it was a head kick, and Kudalova looked like he was rocked, but watching it back, nothing really landed after that. So it was kind of weird. Disagree with the ref stopping it, but you really can't blame him too much. Kudalova looked very, very rocked in that fight. As for this time, I think Ankalaev's the more technical striker. I think he's the better fighter overall, but Kudalova is the more dangerous guy. I actually like Ankalaev by decision. Kudalova is a very tough guy, as is Ankalaev. Ankalaev has a very good chin on him. I don't really see this ending inside the distance, and I think that's kind of a sneaky play because I'm assuming those odds are going to be pretty wide. But give me Ankalaev. We already saw him win once. I think he's going to win this time again. I just think it's going to be a little bit different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, Dale, how you see that fight playing out?
Honestly, this one's probably going to be avoided. just for the sense that we didn't really get a good snapshot with the last fight. Kevin McDonald screwed that up for everybody by jumping in there so fast. Initially, I thought that possibly Ankalaev did have, Cutelaba hurt. However, like Brady said, watching it back, 20 plus times, because it was only 2 minutes long. It definitely appeared that Cutelaba was playing possum. However, what we've seen, is that if he can't get you finished in that first round or even that first 3 or 4 minutes, it doesn't bode well for him. I know that the distance play is a sneaky play. I completely agree with that. But what we've seen, though, with Cutelaba in the past is that he'll give up. If you look at anytime he faces adversity and he's gassed, what do they say? Cardio makes, cowards of us all when you don't have it. And he doesn't have it. He's got about around maybe 7 minutes to get you out of there. And if he doesn't, he's going to lose. We didn't see enough out of him to know whether or not he can deal with the footwork of Ankalaev. So I think the line's disrespectful. I think it should be closer than what it is, but it would have to get a whole lot closer for me to get really interested in taking either one of these guys in this fight. I think Ankalaev is the smarter fighter. I think he has enough tools in his box to win this, but I don't want to touch him at the minus 300 range. I just have no interest in it.
Yeah, man, you kind of hit it on the point right there. You said Cutelaba has like a good first round in him. If I recall right, he was winning that Glover Teixeira fight before he got choked out in the second round. Looked like money was definitely about to cash in on that underdog play, which I remember. But yeah, that fight IQ, and like you said, he just doesn't have it, man. Once he gets tired, it's just like, okay, you can do whatever you want to me, So that's the one thing I noticed in there. But this fight was rescheduled twice. It's supposed to be on UFC 252. It's supposed to be on Fight Night. But definitely, that early stoppage, definitely has it poised just to get played out now. So, Guru, how do you see this happening, man?
Yeah, I'm going to go with them. I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious, who has the better skills here. But, we have seen Ankalaev rocked in certain fights before, and obviously Cutelaba is real dangerous in that first round. So it makes it interesting. And, I mean, who knows? It's weird. It's like they're fighting for the second time. So who knows how Ankalaev is taking – he might be taking Jan Cutelaba super light or something because he thinks he was about to knock him out in 30 seconds, and then he comes out here and loses. But who knows? I mean, I feel like Ankalaev has the better cardio, and I think he can mix it up too and get takedowns in the later rounds if he really wants to. So I just feel like he'll probably get the win here. I think it could be, a late finisher decision, but Cutelaba has to get a finish in the first round, or I think he's going to lose probably.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, man. So what about a prop? Because I usually like to play some props that the average people don't think is going to cash in on. You probably think the fight's going to finish, right? So, Brady, do you know what you can get if round 3 starts in this fight?
I see the over 1.5 at minus 130. I don't mind that.
Ooh, I like that right there. I like that a lot. The first fight got stopped way too early. They're not just going to come out there and bang like that. This fight got rescheduled twice now. So going over 1.5 for a minus 130, yes, I'm going to definitely have to check my books after that one, man.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. What do you guys think with Iwan having COVID 2 weeks ago?
Did you see him on Instagram? He looked pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like that's I think Pedro had it and he looked fine. So
yeah, I think he looked fine.
Is COVID real?
That's a whole nother show right there, right?
No, listen, we don't know what his symptoms were. We don't know how it affected him. We've all, heard anything from people that have COVID and they didn't even realize they had it. And then we have people that, obviously passed away from it, not to make light of that. But we don't know we don't know the severity. We don't know the symptoms. We don't know if it affected him at all. To the point that was made, he's on Instagram getting sweaty, putting in work. I mean, he looks the part. I think if he can make the weight, if you're going to play him, all he's got to do is make the weight and make your play, whatever it may be. Outside of that, again, I'm still staying away from the fight though.
Mm-hmm. And what about these fighters right here? A lot of people are high on Magomed. How do you guys see his fight after he wins this playing out? Who do you guys think is going to be a good opponent for him? Do you guys actually think he can make a run at this light heavyweight division, with John's giving up the belt and everything like that?
I mean, I think he has the second longest win streak in that whole division. And I mean, he's pretty good. I think he has plus skills everywhere, but he wins this one, you'll probably get like a top 15 guy, and we'll see what happens because we did see that loss he had against Paul Craig. That was kind of alarming. So I'm not 100% sold on him, but I mean he could potentially make some noise, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love the way he comes out, man. Paints his face green. Has one of those most intimidating walkouts. He used to do what Junior Dos Santos does: walk across the room. Meet me over here in the middle. Let's fight. So it's definitely gonna be a firecracker fight. I just want it to happen. It's like, well, we're in Wednesday. It's like 3 days away. This fight just needs to happen just to get it, just to get it over with. That's how I feel about this one, though. But I mean, that's the first fight on the main card to kick off the main card. Hell of a banger, right?
Yeah, man, for sure.
So go ahead. I know you're a big fan of this next fighter coming on the card, Guru. We was just watching some tape before the show even started, man, and you could go ahead and tell him how he was looking on there and who he was beating up. But go ahead, man. Introduce this next fight. Even though this wasn't supposed to be the original fight, it is a short notice replacement. But go ahead, Guru, take it over.
Yeah, this is a good fight. It's Ricardo Lamas is coming back. He's fighting Bill Algeo, who's making his UFC debut here, short notice. And Algeo, I mean, he's the guy that fought Brendan Loughnane on the Contender Series last year. They had that fight where it was kind of highly publicized because Loughnane kind of beat up him, and then basically Dana White was saying like he didn't go for it in the third round, so he didn't give him the contract because of that.
And he ended up going to PFL, right?
Yeah, he went to PFL.
Yes.
So it's weird. Like, it's like they didn't sign the guy that beat up Algeo like 30-26, but then they're signing Bill Algeo. But I don't know. I mean, Algeo, I wasn't a big fan of the guy. I mean, he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and to me, he's more of a grappler. But like on the feet, he's like rangy. He is going to have like the length advantage, and you throw some decent kicks and some punches out there, straight punches. But he has his hands down, his chin is right in the air, super hittable guy. And obviously Lamas, he's 38 years old. He's lost 3 of his last 4 fights, but he's a legend in that division. He's had 16 UFC fights. This is going to be, I think, like the 16th fight for Algeo in his career. So the experience level, the competition level is obviously way on Lamas' side. And I just feel like skill level too. I mean, on the feet, Lamas, he can kick with both legs, real good. He has real good boxing power. I definitely think he hits harder than a guy like Algeo. And the thing you have to worry about with Lamas is the chin issue. I mean, he's been knocked out, I think, 4 or 5 times. But when you look at the guys he's been finished by at 145, it's like Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar, Chad Mendes. I mean, those guys are like guys
top
with
of the line, right?
Power, in the history of the division. So Algeo, I think he only has 2 knockouts. He doesn't really have a lot of power in his hands. It's really the kicks. So, I mean, unless he lands a big knee or a kick, I don't see him knocking out Lamas with punches. And, I mean, a lot of his fights, he grapples to win. So I think that Lamas is on another level in terms of the grappling. I think he's a better wrestler. His ground and pound is, like, legendary, and he has a real good submission game. I mean, no one just goes out there and submits Charles do Bronx Oliveira, man. I mean, Lamas submitted do Bronx, and do Bronx is like 10 pounds, missed weight by like 10 pounds for that fight. So I don't know.
He missed weight, so it was a fight that was supposed to take place at 145, and he ended up weighing what?
I think he was like 153 or something. Charles Oliveira was, but yeah. But then I mean, I'm just not going to overthink it. I see some people picking Algeo. I think it's just because they're fading. Lamas, like you said, over a 38-year-old guy. But he went out there. He lost to Calvin Kattar. He lost to Josh Emmett. When you put him in there with these lower level guys, not lower level, just like a tier below, like Darren Elkins or the Jason Knights, he runs through those guys easily. He finishes them. So I don't know. That's what I see happening, man. I think Algeo is going to get finished here. So I don't think he's that good, really.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, so definitely, man. You all on the UFC veteran right there, Ricardo Lamas, as you should. He definitely deserves his respect. Would you think about playing him any props within the distance or by sub?
I don't know. I mean, inside the distance, it's only plus 110. So I don't know if I would play that, but I think he's parlayable, to be honest with you. I think I just think he's going to win the fight.
Got it. So that might be one piece right there, in Guru's parlay for the plays coming up. Stay tuned. Hey, Dale, Punchlist MMA, go ahead. How you see this fight taken out? Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Algeo.
I think this is a good fight for Ricardo Lamas to get back to being the bully. For a long time, that was his moniker for a reason. He would go in and impose himself on his opponents. And what we've seen with Bill Algeo is he, is susceptible to being. He'll fight whatever fight you give him. So if Ricardo Lamas goes out there and he's aggressive on that with standing, he'll stay standing. If he wants to take it to the ground, he'll allow Ricardo Lamas to dictate the fight. I think if Ricardo wants to go back to being the bully, if he wants to prove that he's not done yet, an opponent like Bill Algeo, not only does he have to beat him, but it's tailor-made for him because Algeo is going to go out there and give Ricardo what he needs in order to win the fight. I look to add Ricardo possibly to a parlay. I'm not really interested in thinking about playing any sort of prop play, inside the distance, sub, knockout, anything like that. I might just look to add him to a parlay. What we've seen with the Apex is its own separate entity, a different beast, that ability to hear everything, that smaller octagon, something about that environment. Not only is it breeding upsets, but it's also got people fighting a little bit different. And a guy like Ricardo Lamas, who hasn't been fighting like himself the last couple of years anyway, whether it be because of nagging injuries or being finished or whatever the case may be, I'm not super confident on him to really go all in. But I do like the idea of sprinkling him in a parlay here and there because this is a fight where the bully could resurface for one last hurrah.
Yeah. And Lamas, he's been getting ready for Ryan Hall for a while now. So, I mean, Algeo, he's a grappler. I mean, I feel like he's going to be ready for that. I think if he gets on top of Algeo, man, I think he's going to finish him. So, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yes, sir. DFS, Brady, go ahead. Let him know maybe what's Lamas at in DraftKings numbers, and then let us know how you see the fight playing out. And, I mean, so far we got two people saying, hey, that's one leg in a parlay. Are you going to be the third person saying, hey, definitely a playable parlay piece?
I mean, yeah, Lamas on DraftKings is 9,200, which is, it's a lot, but I think he could possibly pay it off there. But as for the fight goes, I mean, they broke it down perfectly. What we got to worry about on this point of Lamas' career is that chin. But I do want to read some of the guys he's been fighting: Calvin Kattar, Rasad Bektik, Josh Emmett, Max Holloway. He's been fighting the best of the best. I think this is a very winnable fight for him. I don't think that Algeo has the power to really give Lamas problems on his chin. So I think he'll be safe in that department. And on the ground, I think Lamas is a lot better. And if he does get Algeo down, which I think he can because he has some really good wrestling, I do think he can do some damage, maybe get a finish. As for the line, it's probably where it should be. But I might parlay it, might not. I do think it's a fine parlay piece, though, if you guys just do decide to go for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, man, Lamas right there. I mean, like I said, he's one of those guys, man. Like, those names hold weight when it comes to MMA. Wins over Cub Swanson, wins over Charles Oliveira. Can't too many people in the UFC say that.
Yeah, finished
them at that Mortal Kombat style. So definitely, I was a fan of him in WEC. He had wins over James Krause, I believe, before he got in the UFC. Yeah, and like I said, like the guys that he's losing to, come on now. Emmett, the way that Emmett's been looking recently, that guy is definitely on the tear right now in the division. So, when it's all said and done, I wanted to see this original fight. I thought Ryan Hall was definitely going to be able to be capable of tapping him, going for that ankle roll some way, somehow. So I just wanted to see how that was going to play out, in that fight. But I guess, we gotta wait for a next event for that. So, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, seems like, Lamas is definitely going to be a parlay piece. So we might have one leg in the parlay for you right there. So stay tuned and, we'll get on to this next fight and see how we can make some money in it. That was the second fight on the card. Next fight on the card, man, third women fight on the card, taking place at 125 pounds. We got Ji Young Kim, 9-2 record versus Alexa Grasso coming in with 11-3 record. Alexa Grasso, this fight was already rescheduled once. It was supposed to happen in June. Grasso's coming in the heavy favorite, minus 325 right now. Her fighting style looks to push the pace. It should be a striking matchup in here. This would definitely favor Alexa Grasso. But it seems like to me, UFC is definitely trying to market her. Pretty face, definitely trying to build off that born in Mexico fan base, because right now in the UFC, some of these Mexican fighters right now is definitely making their name known in the UFC. So I definitely think like the UFC are definitely trying to market her and push her. Her 3 losses: Carla Esparza, Nothing wrong with that. Tatiana Suarez, who's a beast. Nothing wrong to that. This one, though, Felice Herrig, I might have to shake my head on that one, But she comes in with 3 wins in the UFC. Go ahead, Dale, take it away. Let us know how you see this fight playing out. Definitely she's a heavy favorite. I can't touch nothing with that line. Maybe you can do some props, but go ahead.
No, the third women fight of the night. Third time you're going to hear me say this. Women's MMA is a coin flip. I think this one is possibly the biggest coin flip of the night. You have 2 women here that have notorious trouble in making weight. Alexa Grasso is getting the push primarily because of the way that she looks. Like you said, they're trying to appeal to that Mexican fan base, that Latin American market. They absolutely are. But there is something to be said with both of these women's ability to make weight. Grasso is moving up for this fight. Kim missed weight in her last fight against Nadia Qasim. Qasim looked terrible in that fight. She came out, tried to do the weird Mark Hominick big touch gloves and then try to punch you bullshit. And she paid the ultimate price for it, which she should have. Yeah. It's bad.
That's Bush League right there. Right. Straight Bush League.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was funny she got dropped right when she was doing it.
Exactly. So you come out and you do that craziness, just like Mark Hominick and Zombie, and that's what happens to you. And she got what she deserved. However, Kim did get the finish there. Listen, we've seen the formula on how to beat Grasso. It's take her to the ground. If you look at everybody that she's fought, they're primarily, great to good wrestlers, and that's how they've gotten the win. Now, can Kim do that? I don't know. I mean, that's what remains to be seen. She is going to be the heavier fighter come fight night. Grasso's going to have to fight a very fault-free fight in order to win this, despite what the lines say. I think she's going to have to be on her best behavior and put together a great performance to get this done. I think this line is a lot closer. And if you're looking at a live dog, somewhere in the plus 240, 260 range, I think Kim might be it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, just to piggyback off of something you said, can Kim shoot for the takedown? My man Brady's a man by the numbers. I already know the number on how many takedown attempts she has in the UFC. Brady, how many takedown attempts does Kim have in the UFC?
She lands 0 per 15 minutes.
0.00?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So Michael Patolo line, okay, I'm going to fight smart all of a sudden right now in the light. Okay. Got it. I see.
Now you're a wrestler. So now you're a wrestler, right?
Right. Exactly. I see what you're saying, though. Go ahead. So definitely. So you don't see this line being so heavy like this. I could agree a little bit because minus 300. When we all think about it, that's what they had Sean O'Malley at. But what do you think it should be capped at, Guru, on this line, or do you agree with this line?
Nah, yeah, I think it's a little wide, obviously. I mean, the thing is, it's like both these girls are boxers, though. I don't see Kim trying to take her down. And like they said, she has no takedowns, but she has a 72-inch reach, and I think Grasso is like 66 inches. So that's a big difference. It's a 6-inch reach advantage. And like you said, she weighed 128 for a 125-pound fight her last time out, and Grasso has been fighting at 115. So I don't know if maybe the power is going to translate for Kim and she's going to hit harder potentially, but I just feel like it's the speed advantage for Grasso in the boxing. I think she's just faster than Kim and is probably going to throw more volume. But yeah, I mean, I think Grasso should be minus 175. I don't know why she's minus 300 or whatever. I mean, she's 3-3 in the UFC,
right?
And, I mean, she's trading wins and losses though, so she is due for a win. So, I mean, I think she'll get the win here. I mean, the UFC's giving her another girl that's just going to stand up and strike with her. So, yeah, I think she'll get the win. But yeah, the line is off. I agree.
Yeah, definitely, man. I was looking. I mean, I've been waiting for Grasso to fight her last time. I thought the line would have been minus 220 maybe when it came out, minus 180. But when this fight came out, I seen that line. I know I'm not touching it. Brady, you doing anything with that fight?
No, I do think the line's probably a little bit too wide. I mean, watching tape on Kim, I can kind of see why she's a big favorite, but not this big. She's going to be the bigger fighter in there by a decent margin. Like Rue said, 6-inch reach advantage. She does hit hard, but I notice she's very, very slow. So I do think Ross is going to have a very big speed advantage, but I don't know, minus 320, minus 325. I do think that's too wide. Not touching this fight whatsoever. But I do think Rosso can get it done, use her speed, get in and out. But would not be surprised if this was a very, very close fight.
Agree. All right, man. So moving on up to the co-main event now. the co-main event originally was supposed to be, I believe, Geoff Neal versus Neil Magny. That didn't happen. The show must go on, and wow, god damn, look at who they replaced Geoff Neal with. I'm talking about Robbie fucking Lawler, 28 wins and 14 losses. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. This is one of the first UFC fighters that made me a fan of the UFC. I'm talking about when he came out in the UFC, 19 years old, knocking people out with a curly afro like Chase Hooper and Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler, but just wanted to put some little respect on his name, But he's fighting Neil Magny with 23 wins and 7 losses, who's coming back from the UFC right now. He's looking real good right now after his 2-year layoff or 1-year layoff with this suspension with USADA. Hey, Guru, you got any information on this fight and actually what happened with Neil Magny and why he took a 2-year suspension?
I think it was like a taint. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't think Neil would be on steroids personally, just the way that he looks. So, I mean, I think it was a tainted thing. But, I mean, who knows?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So on this one, Brady, go ahead. Give the people out there in the odds some numbers on how they can maybe bet this fight, what it opened up at, where it's at now, and how can we make some money on this? Because it's the co-main event, and trust me, I see a way to make money on this, and I see a prop that I like. I want to see if any of you guys mentioned it before me.
All right, Magny opened up minus 195. He's now down to minus 235. Lawler is plus 195. As for the fight goes, I mean, I want to pick Lawler, but I really can't. I think he's on the way out. He's 38 years old, getting up there in age. He has fought some pretty great competition. Obviously, he just lost to Colby Covington. Before that was the controversial submission with Ben Askren. Before that, Rafael dos Anjos, Tyron Woodley before that. So he's losing to some pretty good competition. It's really hard to pick him at this point of his career. I think he's on the way out, and I think he hasn't been looking all that great. If this was prime Robbie Lawler, I would honestly pick Lawler all day here, but it's not. He's on his way out. I think the fight could play out a little closer than the line indicates, but I just see Magny using his reach. He has a 6-inch reach, sticking to the outside. He's not going to finish Lawler. It'll probably be by decision. So if anything, Magny by decision, something I'm looking at, or even fight goes to decision in general, something I'm looking at. If Lawler wins, it's probably going to be a knockout. And I mean, it's possible. Magny is, in a way, kind of a little bit chinny. Magny's been finished twice by strikes. He's been finished 3 times by sub. But if Lawler doesn't get a knockout, I don't see him winning this fight. So I'm going to pick Neil Magny to win by decision.
Neil Magny to win by decision. I think somebody in the chat even also just said I think they got that at plus 130, I believe. Magny to win by decision as well. Wow. Okay. That was that right there. You definitely just said the prop that I was eyeing on there. But go ahead, my man. Dale, man, you gonna let him talk about the legend like that, Lawler? I mean, or is it the right call? Or does Lawler have any chance in here? Let's just think about the people that Lawler has fought recently. Now he's fighting. When you think about this name, Neil Magny, so does Lawler have any chance in this fight?
Well, he absolutely has a chance. I just don't think it's a very big one. Robbie Lawler hasn't won a round since 2017.
Wow.
Just let that sink in for a second. He hasn't won a round of a fight since 2017. If you look at the level of competition that he's faced, obviously it's very high. Robbie Lawler has, arguably, as far as quality of talent and strength of schedule goes, one of the toughest resumes of any active fighter in the UFC. However, a guy like Neil Magny is tailor-made to beat him, especially the Robbie Lawler that we've seen as of late. He suffers against cardio kings. RDA put it on him. 50-45s across the board. Colby Covington, cardio king. 2 50-45s and a 50-44. He suffers against high output cardio kings. And Neil Magny, that's what he's always been known for. Now, to the point of Neil Magny being a little chinny, he has been finished before. That is a real thing. But if you remember his fight against Hector Lombard was a maelstrom of destruction in Bellator and outside the UFC. And when he came in, he beat on Neil Magny like Neil Magny owed him money for about 3 minutes. And Neil weathered that storm.
Taking his lunch money.
Got back up and then finished Hector Lombard. So it can be done. What he needs to worry about is Robbie Lawler has a very underrated kicking game. If he comes out there and implements low leg kicks and calf kicks, like we saw Santiago Ponzinibbio do against Neil Magny, that's what he can do to slow down that movement of Neil. Because if there's any fighter in the UFC that's willing to use footwork, avoid traps, and kill you with a jab, it's Neil Magny. And like I said, Neil Magny's coming out of Team Elevation, who, for my money, is the best team in all of MMA right now. He's the lead, has been for a long time. I think this fight is a tailor-made fight for Neil Magny to get that big name on his resume, to make some noise in a 170 division that just continues to get more bottled up towards the top. Neil Magny's going to look to make up ground for that 18 months that he wasn't in the octagon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, you guys are pretty much hitting it right on the head. I mean, the last time I remember, my boy Lawler winning, I was at that event too, and that was at UFC 214 out here in Anaheim, California, and that was against Donald Cerrone. That was in a fight that he actually lost. They gave him the win because he just lost to Tyrone Woodley, but he actually lost that fight against Cowboy in there. And to me, ever since that fight, it was just downhill. I never seen the same Lawler again ever since that fight. But I will say this: when it comes down to the significant strikes landed, I mean, they're kind of the close. We know definitely Neil Magny's going to keep it on him for the whole 15 minutes, and not going to stop. He lands 3.95 significant strikes per minute. You got Lawler on the other hand at 3.57. Not that much difference, but I definitely got Neil Magny in here. I'm loving that inside the distance. On my book, he opened up at a -210. I was hoping that, he would just go down a little bit because people would see the name Lawler fighting and put some money on him, and I could actually maybe get a straight play on Magny. But right now on the books, he's at a -250. I'm probably going to think about parlaying that, and that could be the second leg in one of these parlays right here. Brady, what about some DraftKings numbers? What is Magny coming in at DraftKings numbers?
Magny is 8,600 and Lawler is 7,600.
So would you say Magny is a playable play right there?
I mean, I'm not going to have too much of him. He's not really high volume. Neither of these guys are, and I don't really think he's going to get a finish. So probably going to be a fight lower owned on. Magny typically does not score well unless he's fighting the Leech. I think he had like 90 points in that fight. But other than that, hasn't really scored well in his career.
Okay. Hey, Guru, can you give some people in the chat some shout outs, man? We're at 213 live viewers right now. Want to spend a special shout out to everybody out there in the numbers doing it on this live Wednesday. We got special co-hosts in there down at the bottom. That's Punch List MMA. But Guru, go ahead and shout some people out in the chat today.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Freddie Austin, Alan Arango, Justin Jr. 962. Justin Jr. actually has a channel. He actually interviewed Shannon Dobson last week, so I don't know if you hate him or like him for that. But check him out. Sean Tuma, What's Poppin' Main, Speedy Mito, Anrod. So yeah, a lot of people in here, over 200 people. Eric Velasquez. So yeah, man, good shit for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, hey guys, coming to the last fight on the last.
Yo, hold up. Let me tell my breakdown for this one, bro. For the Magny one.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Did I skip you on this one? My bad about that.
You're straight.
My bad. Go ahead, Guru.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy. I want to say fuck you guys to pick Robbie Lawler, but man, I can't do it, man. I like Robbie.
Come on, give Lawler a shot a little bit, man. Come on, man. That's a legend when it's all said and done. Like I said, I've been watching him since he was 19 in there with the curly top, man. Went to Strike Force and beat Nate Diaz, and the list goes on. Come on, give him some credit at least, man.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves respect. Obviously, you can't sleep on him, but man, I mean, the last time he got a knockout was against Rory McDonald in that fight. I mean, we all remember that fight with Rory Mack, the title fight
in the UFC, right?
That was 5 years ago. I mean, that was the last time he got a knockout. And Neil Magny, he's 16-1 in decisions. He's 9-0 in decisions in the UFC, and Robbie Lawler is 7-6 in decisions in his career. So I don't know. I mean, unless he goes in there and he's going to finish Neil Magny, I don't think he's going to get the win. And when you look at Robbie's recent fights, he doesn't let his shots go anymore. I mean, I know it's versus these high level guys, but I don't know how many punches he threw versus Colby Covington. But man, I mean, he was bobbing and weaving for 95% of the fight. He wasn't doing anything. And versus RDA too, it was no volume. Where he is fighting these high level guys, but once you see these older guys, they start, getting gun shy, throwing less volume. I think that's kind of like a sign that they're kind of going down a little bit. But I mean, Robbie is coming in here at short notice, so maybe he thinks that this is a good matchup for him. He has some confidence that he's going to win, but I don't know, man. I mean, I can't pick Robbie to win, so I'm going to go with Magny also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Loving that. Loving that. Anybody thinking about playing them in a parlay? Or because I'm thinking about doing that prop inside the distance if I could get it at plus 130 after the show ends.
Oh, you think he's gonna finish Robbie?
Oh no, by decision. My bad.
Oh, by decision.
By decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be a decision if he wins. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just can't see Robbie finishing Neal. I mean, it's possible, but
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but Brady, the over/under on rounds is for this fight is what, at 2.5?
Over under is 2.5. The over is minus 245.
Right. So Vegas is essentially telling us what they think is going to happen with this fight. They've got Neal at a sizable favorite, and they've got the over 2.5 at an even bigger favorite. So I really think that Vegas is sort of telling the betting public what they think is going to happen. Now, whether or not you want to believe Vegas, I think they're laying the blueprint. If you do want to play a prop, they're sort of leading those breadcrumbs for you here. And I think that plus 130 by decision or fight goes the distance, whatever you want to play it, I think that they're sort of showing the way there. If you're going to play something on this fight, you could do worse than that because, Vegas is trying to keep that money. So you might as well go with what they're giving you.
yeah, especially with plus money, like you said, because that's what
Right.
they're kind of saying is going to happen.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely like your take on that one, man. So go ahead, Brady. Last fight of the card, main event right here. I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce it. But before we do that, though, Guru, go ahead. Let everybody know, man, where they can catch you at on your YouTube page, on your Instagram, and everything, and a little bit about what you've been doing within these last years, how you've been doing on all your events and everything like that. Let the people know.
Yeah, man. Definitely stay in tune for the Dana White Contender Series. We've hit three of the four plays that I've given out on Odds HQ for the Contender Series. 3 of the 4 weeks we've made some money on that. And yeah, obviously you can find me at Prediction MMA on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. If you just type in MMA Prediction Guru, you could find it. And yeah, man, thanks for always supporting. You guys support Odds HQ, support my channel, so it's awesome. It's cool to have this community. So for sure.
Yes, sir, man. I will say this, like I said, MMA Prediction Guru, definitely. This is one of the guys who, when he comes in and does his breakdowns on his video, he goes in depth. He's one of those guys you don't even have to watch. You can just listen to. Even if you don't agree with his picks, you're going to know so much about both fighters. You're going to walk away acting like you know everything about the fight before it takes place. I will say that. So definitely, he's one of the best guys who gives us breakdowns. But, he's not the only one. My boy Brady DFS is great when he gives the breaks down. Not just that, he takes you to Skool. He gives you a graph and a diagram to break down exactly how the fighter is going to win, what round, this and that, all type of percentages. So go ahead, Brady. Let them know where they can catch you at.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter or subscribe to me on YouTube as well. I do breakdowns for the card every single week. My breakdown's going to be posted tomorrow. I do a live stream on Friday and also some DraftKings stuff. If you guys are interested in DraftKings as well, I do a lot of DraftKings stuff. And yeah, I get into the numbers a lot. I have a nice graph to kind of show all the stats throughout the fighters and all that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I've been doing pretty good the past couple of weeks. These last weeks have been rough, but 8 out of the last 9 cards I've been profiting. The last card I had a loss on was the Shabazian card, which was a very tough one there. But hopefully keeping it up and make some money on this card.
Yes, sir. And Dale, Punchless MMA, I came across you on Instagram, in the MMA community. I definitely want to get you on the show. I definitely seen you checking us out a few times. You said you like what Odds is doing over here. So go ahead, let the people know, where they can find you at and a little about who's in your actual group and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so absolutely. So Punchless MMA is a marrying of 2 events. So I was a sports handicapper previously with a different show, but started making money, doing a lot more money on combat sports and anything else. Teamed up with my co-host Trey, who was running an MMA podcast as well. And we just combined forces there and made the Punchless MMA community. Along the way, started picking up some people. We're actually sponsoring fighters now on September 11th. Shout out to my man Taylor Tombstone Johnson fighting Ed Ruth in Bellator. He'll be rocking the Punchless MMA logo for us. It'll be on all his kit and everything else. So we're moving into that arena as well, fighter interviews. But you can follow us at Punchless MMA on Instagram and Twitter. And then obviously new episodes come out each and every Wednesday morning on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, we're there. And then YouTube videos for all pay-per-views as well. So yeah, it's been great. Like I said, I try to consume as much content as I possibly can. try to make myself better at betting. I'm familiar with Guru and Brady. I love what you guys are doing at odds. It was as soon as you hit me up and you were like, hey, you want to come on? It's a no-brainer. Absolutely. Anything we can do to strengthen this MMA community, bring people closer together, and obviously make some money. That's what we're all about here at Punchlist MMA and obviously odds.com as well. So appreciate the opportunity. This has been great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, me, myself, good shout outs there. I mean, on my platform, you can catch me at MMA Locker Room. That's MMA_locker room on Instagram. On Twitter, it's just one word, MMA Locker Room. YouTube as well, it's just one word, MMA Locker Room. I put out my own Bet Your Lunch Money segments. They usually come out on Fridays and Sundays. Give you guys about 5 good bets on there for fighters. Give you guys an underdog pick and give you guys a few props to cash in on. Been doing it now for like the last consistent 3.5 months. I'm up 5.5 units, but not just that, not just MMA. I'm like a sports encyclopedia. I do it all. I have baseball plays, I have basketball plays, I have NFL plays, so definitely if you guys want to see some sports content out there, definitely hit us up on our social media platforms. You definitely want to hit that follow button today, right now. The time's now. Not just that, do the same thing with Odds HQ. Check them out right here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, get those numbers up, and check out the website as well, man. They do it all here. They cover every single sport, not just MMA. I'm talking about baseball. I'm talking about football's coming back in 12 or 11 days. I mean, everything's coming, guys. So definitely stay tuned with odds.com, Odds HQ. And everything like that. And we want to send a special shout out to everybody in the chat as well, because this is like an MMA community, man. You guys are like our cousins out here. You know what I mean? We're like MMA related brothers, and you guys are like our cousins out there. So we're gonna keep this thing growing with this MMA family, man. All right, so Brady, man, go ahead, introduce this last fight on the last card, main event. I mean, I know my boy Guru has something to say about Anthony Bum Smith. I mean, we'll get into that. So, Brady, go ahead. Take it away.
Alexander Rakic is minus 275 and Anthony Smith is plus 235. I think this is a really good fight. Man, this is a tough fight to call for me, though. I mean, in Smith's last fight, he came out very strong, those first couple rounds. And I don't know, I think it was because he didn't have the proper training in that fight. I remember seeing an interview where he said he was training like with his wife or girlfriend's yoga mat or something like that for the fight. And I'm assuming he's going to have the correct training for this camp. So I'm assuming he's going to be ready here. It's just he's coming off of a huge beating, 2 or 3 months ago. So I think he's coming back a little bit too early here. Honestly, Rakic is a guy I'm not impressed with. I'm not overly high as much as other people are on this guy, but in this matchup, I like him to win. I think he's going to win. He lands 5.17 significant strikes per minute compared to Smith's 3.26. Rakic also has a pretty good takedown defense as well. If anything, Smith, if you can get him down, I think he can do some damage on the map, but I just don't see it. I don't know. Smith just took so much damage. It's really hard to trust him. I see a lot of people taking underdog shots on Smith. I don't hate it. I think the line's a little bit off, but give me Rakic. I'm going to say by decision. I think Smith is very tough, very, very tough. I think it's going to go to decision, and Rakic is going to get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But not that impressed with him, huh? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the same guy? I think he has a knockout over a Stylebender in kickboxing or something, or has a win over him, I believe. Rakic.
Yeah, I think he did beat Izzy in a kickboxing fight.
But so go ahead, Guru. Opened up at a minus 300 favorite. Myself, if he would have opened up at a minus 240 favorite, I definitely would have looked to parlay him with something. But how do you see this fight happening? And we're talking about Anthony Lionheart Smith, the same guy who had somebody break into his house and he couldn't even beat him up. And all right, never mind. So go ahead, Guru. Your boy Anthony Lionheart Smith fought in division to division. One of the best out there, right?
Yeah, man. It's funny. I remember, shout out to Mo, man, when I was talking about
my man Mo.
Fabricio Verdum, and I was saying that Fabricio was going to beat Alexander Gustafsson. I was saying that Gustafsson got submitted by a bum. So, I was talking about Anthony Smith, but man, he's obviously not a bum. But, it's just they both try to do the same thing on the feet, in that they use that lead hand to gauge distance, and then they're trying to come with pull counters, straight punches, kicks. But I think Rakic mixes it up a lot better. Like he goes to the body a lot more than Anthony Smith does. Anthony Smith inside, I think he's more dangerous. Like he has good elbows, good knees, and that's where he could potentially land something. But I think at range, I mean, I think Rakic is faster. I think he's more durable. I think he hits harder, especially in that first round, man. He's a beast in the first round. In the first round, like against Volkan, he was landing some huge shots. Like I'm surprised. Volkan is super, super durable. I think he's more durable than Anthony Smith. And I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like also.
Quick question, Guru. In that Volkan fight, like I had money on that fight. That was one of those fights that took place in like London. So it happened, I think, at like 4:00 in the morning or something. But how did you see that Volkan fight? Did you actually think like Volkan should have won that one?
I mean, I don't think it was a robbery or anything. Volkan did like really beat up Rakic's leg, but I thought Rakic won the fight. Like,
okay, just wanted to know.
Yeah, just personally, but yeah, I mean, obviously Anthony Smith finished Volkan, which I don't know. I don't get how he got that win. That's like the biggest win on his career. But yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously if he can get on top or if he can land a shot like a shot in the clinch or something, then I think he could win. But Smith gets a lot of his wins from like guys getting tired, and then he finishes them when they're like gassed out. Which Rakic, I think if it was 5 rounds, I would be more nervous. 4th, 5th round against Anthony Smith, but 3 rounds, I just think he could get a finish in the first round. He comes out really hard in the first round, and I'm kind of going to disagree with Brady about the camp. I mean, he maybe has a better camp situation, but how much could he have been training? I mean, he had like multiple facial fractures, things like that. So I don't know how long he's actually had a training camp for this. I don't know when he got like cleared off medical suspension and all that, but I don't know. I just think Rakic is just better than him everywhere. And I think Smith would need to get a finish like late in the fight to win the fight. So I feel like Rakic could take him down, control him. I think that he could beat him striking. And I feel like if Smith gets on top, he can potentially get a submission, but I think that's like one of his only ways he could win.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got some nice points there. I mean, Smith is pretty much to me like a 500 fighter. I mean, 33 wins and 15 losses. I mean, you're not that good, And for the people out there saying MMA math, Smith beat Volkan and, Volkan beat Rakic. I don't think that's going to equal and add up at all. Shout out to the 226 people out there. Anthony Smith, let's talk about his last fight, bro. Is this the same guy who got his teeth knocked out and the ref said, and he gave his teeth to the ref and said, hey, hold my teeth?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Is this the same guy who, when he was on the stool, his coach should have just threw in the towel, and just called that fight off? And he should, oh my, yes, this same Anthony Smith, right? He should have took a year off before he even thought about coming back. Now you're coming back against Rakic. Rakic, to me, at light heavyweight, I'm going to be honest, I thought he was going to make that run. This is the one guy. So I've been on this saying now for a long time. Heavy John Jones fan. But I've been thinking like this for the last 2 years. There's 2 people that's going to challenge him. One was Dominic Reyes and one was Rakic. I've been saying that. They both fought him. We've seen what happened with Dominic Reyes, but I think Rakic was on his way. If he would have had that win over Volkan Ozdemir, he definitely would have been on his way. But so I'm a big fan of this guy. So you come back from getting your veneers knocked out your mouth, everybody questioning your coach, to now you're fighting this guy. So yeah, I agree a little bit. Mo, you my man and all, but yeah, man. When it comes to fighting styles, Anthony Smith is a bum, man. I mean, that win over Gustafsson. Come on now. Gustafsson pretty much just quit in there right there. We're not even going to – and you see what just happened to him at heavyweight. So, all right. So, yeah, I'm going to just say, when I say bum, no disrespect because anybody who steps in the ring, is a warrior. But when I say bum, I'm talking about fighting style, man. You guys remember the John Jones fight. 5 rounds of that. This guy, stop it. So, go ahead. That's my take on him. But, hey, Dale, Punchless MMA, tell us how you see this fight happening. I mean, maybe Smith has some value on him, or
right,
just playing out like everybody else.
I'm going to try to unpack some of the things y'all said without running over my time because I want to be respectful here for a couple of things, though. When you call somebody a bum, just own it, right? Like I call Yair Rodriguez earlier soft. I'm just going to call him soft. That's it. You call him a bum, just own the bum. Bum. See, there you go. But here's the thing, right? The same things that make me love Anthony Smith in this fight are also the things that make me hate Anthony Smith in this fight. Basically, the way I look at this one is I'm boiling it down to betting value. Do I think that for the price that you can currently get Anthony Smith at, do I think that he has a decent chance at winning this fight? I actually do think that he has a decent chance at winning this fight. I'm going to wait to bet this fight until I see how the rest of my night plays out. That number is not going to move to some astronomical thing that I'm not going to want to take it. So I'm just going to see how the rest of my night plays out. And then probably if I'm up, make a considerable bet or at least a safe play on Anthony Smith, because I do think he has a good chance of winning this fight, in particular because it's a 3-round fight. And this what brings me back to the point that Guru was making here, is that cardio has been an issue for him in the past. But I honestly think that perhaps what we saw in his last fight against Glover Teixeira was the fact that James Krause was more of a problem than Anthony Smith was a problem, because with that arena, with them being able to hear everything, if you recall, to your own point about James Krause's coaching, James Krause was throwing out commands and Anthony Smith was following to a T. Everything that he said, he immediately corresponded with his coach. There was no creation inside the octagon. He followed him letter for letter. I think James Krause is the reason why Anthony Smith gassed himself out. In 3 rounds, I think Anthony Smith has a decent chance to get a win here. I'm going to wait to see how the rest of my night folds out. I think there's decent value on Anthony Smith later on, given that number. I don't see the number changing that much. If I'm up big, if I'm up a decent amount, I might make a small play on Anthony Smith just to throw some sprinkles on my cupcake at the end of the night. That's how I'm feeling about it. It's not so much because I like or dislike Rakic. I just think Anthony Smith could win this fight. Now, last point here, Anthony Smith has almost, 50 fights worth of mileage on him, but he also has 50 fights worth of experience in there. And you're going up against a guy that has less fights total than Anthony Smith has losses. Mm-hmm. So those you learn while doing inside the cage. And Anthony Smith is a student of the game, even though he's gotten beat up a lot. He is a student of the game. I think he can go in there and impose maybe a little veteran wile against Rakic and maybe get him out of there with something tricky, or just do just enough to win those rounds to get that decision. Because remember, it's only a 3-round fight this time.
Yeah, me personally, I think if you want to bet Smith, I feel like you should. I don't know about you guys, but don't you think that Rakic is probably going to win the first round, right? Like, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I feel like he'll probably win the first round pretty dominantly. So I feel like if you want to bet Smith, I mean, if after the first round, if he gets like dominated in the first round, he could be like, plus 400, plus 500, something like that. And then you could bet him there if you think, because I feel like the first round, Rakic is definitely going to get a finish or put it on him in that first round.
Yeah, Anthony Smith is a slow starter. I mean, he comes out and uses that lead hand to try to gauge distance. And then, he really has to work his way into a fight. And in doing so, you're surrendering around more than likely. I think that's a fair play. I think it's a good point. Even a live bet on Anthony Smith, if you're thinking it might, I think you're absolutely right. That's keen insight. That's a good point.
Got it, folks. I mean, so sounds to me like we got another face-off, but this one's for the main event, man. So, I mean, here we go. So in this last one to kick off the main event, we already had Dale versus Guru. So now we got Dale. You saying Anthony Smith is definitely live on this one, right?
I am saying that, yes.
Got it. And Brady, I mean, I know you're not a big fan of my boy Rakic, but you definitely got him winning this fight, right?
I mean, I think you should give this one to Guru. I think he's a better take on it. I think Anthony Smith's live as well.
Got it. So it's like a 1 versus 2.
If I was to bet this anyway, I would bet on Anthony Smith. I do think the line's off.
Got it. This is like a handicap match. This is like a WWE 1 versus 2 handicap match. Hey, but if anybody can get it done, Guru's the man on this one. Ask the chat. They loving him. I mean, he's killing it on Contender Series. I will just say that. I mean, the last 3 events on Contender Series, I swear he probably hit on every prop and parlay he gave out. Am I correct?
Well, I did. On the Koski brothers one, I didn't. I picked Kevin Seiler. He didn't get the win. So, but the other 3 weeks, I've given out 2 plays on all 4 videos, and I've only gotten that 1 incorrect. So, I mean, I'm doing pretty well. Got
it. So, with that being said, I mean, here we go. I mean, 1 versus 2 on there. I mean, let's go, my man Dale. Started off on there. how can this bum win this fight? Nah, it's just shout out to Anthony Smith though, man. But yeah, I just don't see this one happening, man. Go ahead.
No, so I think a lot of people put a lot of precedent on the fact, like with the teeth issue, but veneers and, James Krause said that his teeth fall out in practice all the time. A lot of people made a lot to do about that wasn't there. Yeah, he got beat up, but that doesn't mean, that it was as a result of something Glover did so much as it was something that happens quite frequently. He's also coming out of Glory MMA, which is a great gym. They're getting rounds in there. If you follow anybody that fights out of Glory on Instagram or Twitter, you can see that gym is open. They are putting in rounds. Now, he did suffer facial fractures against Glover, but your face doesn't need your face doesn't need cardio. You can still get those rounds in without getting touched in the face. I think Anthony Smith is stronger on the ground. I think that he's got the better kickboxing, if you will. Even though Rakic is a decorated kickboxer, I think that Anthony Smith has the better functional kickboxing inside the cage, my opinion. And I definitely think that he can get it done. He's got the mileage and the experience to do it. I'm taking the wild veteran here.
Got it. See, so I got you at 3 valid points right there. On like those ESPN shows, sometimes they give you a point, then they take a point. Like when you just said, better kickboxer, almost, take a negative point back on that one. But okay, let's go, Guru, on this one. Go ahead, man. Give the people in the chat something to see, man. Give them all the facts.
I mean, me personally, I do see the point where I do believe that just straight up jiu-jitsu-wise, Anthony Smith is better on the ground, but Rakic is the bigger man, bigger frame, naturally has 88% takedown defense. I think he's the stronger guy. So I've seen Rakic implement wrestling himself, get on top, and I've seen Anthony Smith controlled on bottom. So unless you think he can take down Rakic, I don't think that the ground game is going to play a huge factor. And on the feet, I just think Rakic, he's younger, he's more spry, faster. I don't know how Anthony Smith could be 100% mentally coming into this fight after that last beatdown. So I just feel like it's a good spot for Rakic to go in there and get the win.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, hey, everybody in the chat, go ahead and get active, man. We know who my boy Jacksonville Zoe got, on this one.
Well, I think he bet on Anthony Smith, so he obviously is going to.
Yeah, so go ahead. Everybody in the chat, get active, man. This is the last face-off, folks. Yes, the last face-off. You got Guru versus Dale on this one. And I'm gonna let my boy Brady hop in, and just try to give him to finish it off on the 2-1 on this one. So go ahead, man. Tell him why your boy Anthony. See, that's how you know he's a bum. He needs 2 people to defend his rep.
Come on, go ahead, man. The Legion of Doom here. Get him, Brady. Come on. Brady.
I mean, I'm not really defending him. I actually think he loses, but I just think the line is way off. Rakic is still not proven really anything to me. I mean, look at who he's beat. Jimmy Manuel, everybody knocks him out. Devin Clark actually knocked him down in that fight. Justin Ledet, and then lost to Volkan Oezdemir. I mean, Anthony Smith, you can call him a bum, but he's been through it. He's a veteran of the game, 33-15. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I'm going to just ever so slightly give it to Rakic.
There you go. Everybody in the chat, man. Go ahead, get active, man. Let's finish this last card with this last face-off, and let's see who won on that, man. Because let's see, did the Guru do enough? Because I mean, I don't even think Guru had to speak. He had to just say he's fighting Anthony Smith, and damn, right? That says enough, right? So let
me get your guys' opinion on something. A guy like Anthony Smith that has almost 50 pro fights. Right? Do you really think that he needs to be putting in those hard rounds sparring to prepare himself for a fight? Do you really think that that's something that he's really concerning himself with? Or is he just trying to stay in shape and shore up the fine details to go into a fight? I think that this is a perfect fight for a guy like him coming back because he doesn't have to change anything up. He doesn't really have to, implement some sort of new game plan. At 50 fights in, the hard work's been done. The hay's in the barn. I mean, do you guys think because Cowboy and Robbie Lawler haven't been doing hard sparring for years, and they're grizzled veterans as well. Do you think that applies to a guy like Anthony Smith?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, but I think he is what he is at this point. I feel like Rakic, we could see him come in here and have a step up. Whereas Smith, I mean, I kind of feel like we know what we're going to see, so it could go both ways. But I do agree with you. It's like if it was Rakic that was getting no sparring or something like that, I feel like that would be a much bigger issue, just because of the experience-wise. But I don't know, man. I mean, I was listening to a Rakic interview, too, where you're saying that he's sparring hard like 3 times a week and really like up his strength and conditioning program and everything. So I don't know. I feel like he's still – I mean, maybe he'll come in here and, look even better. So I just feel like he has that angle as well.
Yeah, no, Dale. I mean, you brought up a good point. Yeah, exactly. No, he definitely doesn't need to put in those sparring rounds or anything like that. Like you said, he's not going to add anything new in his camp. That's not really going to be a positive. On the other hand, Rakic, we haven't seen him fight in a long time. Like Guru said, I think he's going to come in a little bit more established, a little bit more developed now. Because he was already fighting a little bit green still in the UFC. So we haven't seen him fight since the Volkan Ozdemir. So I think within this amount of time, he has something more in his game plan, a little bit more developed compared to Anthony Smith. But Brady, how do you see that, man?
See what?
Do you think that actually Anthony Smith, by him not needing the sparring time or anything like that, that's going to benefit him?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think he has to go in there, and he's already been through it. He's already been in there, so great point there.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the fighter experience in there. If he pulls it off, a lot of people are saying that they're seeing this fight reminiscent of the Shabazian versus Brunson fight with the line and everything.
Yeah.
So
this though, like, do you guys think? Because I think Rakic still obviously believes like he could be the champ, he could win the belt. Do you think that Anthony Smith still thinks he could be the UFC champion?
For sure, 100%. Especially with John Jones vacating the belt, a guy like Anthony Smith has a Chris Weidman mentality where he always acts like he's 1 or 2 wins away from getting a title shot, whether he deserves it or not. He walks around with that mindset. With a wide open light heavyweight division, Anthony Smith and Rakic are both chomping at the bit to get a highlight reel finish here. And doing so could potentially catapult either one of these guys into a number 1 contender fight or a short notice title replacement spot if they get in there and get it done quickly. I think this is prime opportunity for both these guys. They're going to be this fight has fireworks written all over it.
Yeah, no, definitely. This fight definitely has a title contender on there. I mean, we have the Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz fight. So definitely probably whoever wins this, is prime right there for the next shot at that belt in that fight right there. I will say that.
I want to see Jerry fight those guys too. I want to see Jerry versus Rakic. I want to see that fight.
Yeah, I'd like that as well. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the main event. So what about any props out there? Because I know they're gonna have some good props. If you guys are trying to probably think Anthony Smith's gonna win, I would say probably it's gonna be by submission. So like Anthony Smith by submission probably has some good value on it, out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's plus 850. So
what?
That's not that bad. Yeah.
Like plus 8. Yes, that's a good prop out there. How you feel about it, Brady?
Yeah, I don't want to shot at that. I'm probably just going to stay away from the main event, though. If anything, maybe put some on Smith for the value there. But I like Magny by decision. Other than that, nothing really too much on the main card. Maybe the over 1.5 on the Ankalaev fight. I think it's minus 120 right now, so I don't hate that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, wow, folks, we got 223 people in the chat right now, on a Wednesday night, just under two hours for the show. Definitely, Brady, shout some people out in the chat. Definitely, because it's been a wonderful night. Numbers are definitely here, so definitely want to give some appreciation to the chat.
Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Joe Dog, Sage, Shane, Deer Slayer, The Gaming Wolf, N Rad, Jesse, Sean, Jacksonville Zoe, Stefan, Boston Nick, Casual with Halls. Thank you all for hanging out.
Look, man, let me say something about this chat real quick. All right. First of all, y'all caught me on a different format that I'm not normally on. I didn't have time to hang a green screen. Yes, that's my laundry behind me because you did catch me on a Wednesday night in a house where I got a whole football team worth of children. So, yeah, that is my laundry behind me. So what? I'm doing grown man stuff. Level up, get yourself a house, and you can too fold laundry on a Wednesday night while talking MMA picks with the best in the game. So I'm just going to address that right now. Mallory Martin, I like that prop, that inside the distance. And then as far as main card props go, I like Neil Magny by decision as well. So those are my 2 big props that I'm going on: Mallory Martin inside and Neil Magny by decision. Those are my 2 big props.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me, myself on the main card. I mean, we got a hell of a main card to kick off with the Kuntalaba fight on there. I'm definitely going to be looking at some props to play on there. Neil Magny by decision. I'm definitely going to lock that up right when we get off here. I'm looking to probably play Neil Magny even in a parlay And just depending on who's my second leg, I might look at that Lamas because, that might be a good piece to put in there. But besides that, though, definitely check out my YouTube, check out my Instagram to see exactly my official bets, plays, and props. Like I said, for the last 4 weeks, we've been cashing in. I mean, I had underdog picks on there like Cheeto Vera, so come on now. If you guys played Cheeto Vera at those numbers, your guys' night was great. So definitely check us out. That's the main card right here. That's definitely the main card. Anybody got something they want to say right now?
Nah, man, I thought it was an awesome show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, we'll just give everybody a little bit of time right now to let everybody know where they can catch you at. Because, if you're not on Odds HQ, definitely let them know where they can catch you at on your platforms. I start off with the new guy we had on the show. I definitely want to say appreciate you coming in and rocking with us, man. Matt, I couldn't get you in a little bit earlier and stuff. Definitely appreciate your breakdowns on the fights. But go ahead and tell the people where they can catch you at.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said earlier in the stream, you can catch us on YouTube at Punchlist MMA. You can find us on Instagram at Punchlist MMA. Same thing with Twitter. And then obviously Punchlist MMA podcast on all streaming platforms. We try to go big every single weekend. We don't suggest playing anything that we're not playing ourselves. We're completely transparent on all of our plays. Everything's audio logged, so you can go back and say, whether I did or did not say I was going to play something. We believe in transparency 100%. That being said,
man up with the bets, right? Got to man up with them.
Absolutely. And we don't suggest anybody that listens to us play something that we don't play ourselves. Every pick that we offer is completely free. Everything's exactly there. And we're sitting at 64% of the year. Our year-to-date record is available right there on our Instagram profile. So by all means, fact check us however you want. I just want to say shout out to you guys, Odds HQ, and be sure to tune in September 11th. On the Bellator card, our fighter, Taylor Tombstone Johnson, is taking on Ed Ruth. He'll be rocking that Punchlist MMA logo on the shorts and the banner. So if you guys don't follow Taylor Johnson on Instagram, be sure to, and then let him know that Punchlist sent you. The bigger we get, the more fighters we can sponsor. So shout out to all of our people, and then be sure to check us out wherever you can. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, that's a cool fight. Ed Ruth, that's a big name. So hell yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. Taylor was initially booked 2 weeks ago to fight a guy that wasn't nearly as big a fight, and he dropped out, and they rebooked him real quick against Ed. So we were like, heck yeah, man, let's do it. So that's a good fight for us. We're excited about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brady, DFS by the numbers. Let him know, man.
You guys can subscribe to me on YouTube, DFS by the numbers, Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. My DMs are always open for any questions. I'm usually pretty good at replying. I'm usually up late at night working on stuff. So, good luck this week, guys. It's a pretty good card for some betting action. I see a lot of good spots, and let's make some money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The man himself, MMA Prediction Guru. I mean, they already know where they can find you at, but go ahead, let them know, because your subscribers keep going up. Once you hit that 10K, that was just a number. Now you're on your way to 12K, if I can see. So shout out to that. Keep them numbers coming.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Got a lot of support over there. Pretty cool. So, yeah, check me out, MMA Prediction Guru on YouTube. And, we always do the breakdowns over there. I might start, doing some different type of content over there, maybe bring some other people on the channel and stuff like that. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And for sure, yeah, thanks for always supporting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me, myself, like I said, on YouTube, I don't really put out too much content, but definitely appreciate all the follows out there I've been getting. That's MMA Locker Room, just one word. On Instagram, that's where I'm usually putting out all my fight updates, breaking all the new fights that's coming out exclusively usually. Got some interviews coming up with a few fighters too. You definitely want to tune into that. But that's MMA_Locker Room. And then besides that, on Twitter, MMA Locker Room, one word, easy as that, plain and simple. Like I said, I want to give a special shout out to everybody out there that gave us this platform to present this show for you guys. New School MMA. It's definitely been it's been a good show that we've been having for you guys. Got a lot of sports coming out, so you guys definitely want to stay tuned. Baseball is right here, football's coming around, as you can see. I got my Jaguars right here. I got my Atlanta Falcons right there behind me. I'm ready. I'm ready for the football, so let's go. But yes, so with that being said, though, I want to give a special shout out to everybody out there. Boston Nick, my man Mo out there in Arkansas, Clint Diehard MMA, and of course the woman who made this all possible, and that's Cynthia. So everybody in the chat, give Cynthia some love for giving us this show and this platform right here. And on that note, we're out of here, folks. Great show.
Later.
See you.